let's get back to This should last the test of time and the brutal beatdown of about 15 cows. Let's get back to building this feed bunk. It is a cold, foggy morning. We just got hooked onto this trailer. We are headed to go pick up some rails to finish this feed bunk. That's what it's called. It's a feed bunk. We got these all hauled back home, and now we're ready to start putting these rails on. So our course of action is going to be, we're going to put all the rails on the inside on the top first. That's more of a fence to keep the cows in. As I do that, I'm going to go through every post and make sure it's level. Then we will come back and put the rails around the actual feed bunk and see how high we need to go on the inside with the rails, because I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work. We're going to make it up as we go. So we're going to start with the rails on the inside, the rails around the feed bunk. We'll do as much as we can today. Andrea's got her midwife coming in about an hour, and so as soon as that happens, I'm going to take off and go spend some time with her, and then I got to go do some work that actually makes me some money. Well, it took me a couple minutes to kind of figure out the system with this, but I've got 2 boards up, don't look too shabby, and I got 1 more to go on this side, and then we'll start around on the feed bunk. I am putting these in with just 3-inch decking screws. They are going to have some pressure from the cows, so I'll probably come back and put some lag screws in there, but if you notice that I'm using some pretty dinky screws, is because that's what I got available with me right now, but I'll come back later and kind of shore these up a little bit stronger with some lag bolts in there. For now, we're going to get back to putting these others up on this side. We just got 1 more board to go, and then we're going to flip around on the other side and do the actual feed bunk side to get that started. Well, I just have like a foot that I've got to reach with this drill connected to an extension cord. So I got to go either find me a couple feet of extension cord, see if it's wrapped around something, or go find me another extension cord. I hate to go hunting for a 50-foot extension cord to make my 2 feet, so we're going to see what we can find to just extend this one a little bit further. You grabbed my workspace here. Yeah, you T-Bone. You grabbed my workspace. How's that leg doing? You're getting along pretty well, aren't you? Well, I couldn't get the extension cord to stretch, but don't worry. Found me a 100-footer. That should get the job done. the 100 footer doesn't work. So I guess I gotta go find me another one. We rerouted again, got this extension cord to reach. So I'm gonna put in 3 screws and then reroute it one more time. Probably should have just grabbed a bigger extension cord. Well, I got that top rail done, but I'm really out of time this morning, so it's gonna take us a few days to get this done because I've just got a couple minutes here and there.
I signed my name on a dotted line and it was good, good, good.
Gary, get back to work. We're getting back to building this feed bunk again. I did a little bit last night, I'll show you, but I wanted to show you real quick the amount of waste that these cows are putting out. Let me rephrase that. It's not the amount of waste the cows are putting out. I'm not showing you a big pile of cow poo. I want you to see how much of their feed they're wasting. So if we look at this where I've been feeding them, it looks like there's a whole bunch that they've wasted. I mean, that looks like a ton of food there, which it is, but that has been over several weeks that they've wasted that much. This, on the other hand, is what is left over after the 40 pounds I threw out here yesterday. This is not where I normally feed them, and so this had no hay on it at all yesterday. And you can see there's just a little bit left. I estimate it to be about 10%, and that's what we're trying to cut down, is that 10%, leave about half of that. After one day, that doesn't look like it's a whole bunch, but it adds up pretty quick. I calculate it to be roughly $180 a year that's just wasted on the ground like that. Mind you, we are feeding these cows for about 6 months on hay in this spot with our short growing season to feed them hay for quite a while. But yeah, so in 6 months they'll waste about $180. So far, with all the materials I've bought with this, I'm about $500 in. So if I can save half of that, 90 bucks a year, in just a few years, I will recoup all that money. So here's what I did last night. I just put that one post up there. We're gonna continue that on through the rest of our feed bunk on this side, and we'll see how much we can get done this morning. It's beautiful outside, let's go play. You've been watching TV all morning, let's go play. Let's go find a jacket, we'll go jump on the trampoline. It is way too beautiful of a day out here for these kids to be in watching Dora the Explorer for hours. Got them outside to come play with me. I'm gonna take my jacket off, I'm getting hot. When I put all these posts in, I did not make sure that they were level on the top. I just measured them, made sure they were all about 18 inches deep. I knew that they would be off because the ground slopes a little bit throughout here, but this last one was about 2 inches shorter than I want it to be. So I pulled that post back up, put some dirt in there, put the post back down, gave it a little tap with the mallet just to make sure that the ground underneath it was packed and wasn't going to settle over time. And now it's about 3 inches too high, so that's okay. It'll work out that way. I can cut off the tops if I want to make these all level down the road. So go grab the chair. Help you hang. Get the legs up there. You got him?
Yeah.
Pull up. Woohoo! got it?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I want to go high.
Woo!
I want to go high.
Okay, hang on. We gotta get back to going. All right, Lucas, you ready to go high?
Yeah.
Here we go.
We go high.
Okay, I gotta go back to work now. Push you a couple times.
Look, I'm too high.
So I've decided we are gonna put the bottom rail, I mean not the very, very bottom rail, but one of the bottom rails on this over here where the cows are. That's where we're going next. So I'm gonna go back in with the cows. I got them distracted over there for a few minutes, but now they're all back. So we're gonna have to fight with cows a little bit. But we're gonna put this one 24 inches off the ground is the height we're going. That is gonna be based off of this corner down here, which is the lowest point. We're gonna go 24 inches off the ground because this area over here where I've been feeding is raised up because there is so much wasted feed there. A lot of that is from when we fed the steers over the summer. They left a lot here, and that can be scraped out and it'll be about the same height down there, and we'll just level it off of this end down the road. So that's where we're gonna go for now, putting that rail in. Before we can do that, I forgot the water the other day, made a huge mud puddle out of there. We're gonna be standing in the middle of that, so I gotta go change my shoes. I just got tennis shoes on now. We're gonna go get some muck boots. You want me to push you? You two still sitting on those swings? Okay, I'll come push you. Let's go push these kids again. Woo, is that high enough for you? You wanna go higher? Go higher?
Never guess the places that I've been.
I'm a superhero.
Never guess the places that I've been.
I'm a superhero.
Hey superhero, I'm going back to work again. Had to run my extension cords around again. I finally decided to go over top of the hay bales. I think that'll reach both sides. If you're wondering why I don't just go get another extension cord, because I have one. Partially it's just because I'm lazy and I don't want to go find one. Probably would have been easier by now, but two is because I'm already running 150 feet of extension cord out here. 200 feet just seems excessive to me. I mean, it's only 50 more feet, but even though I'm not running tons of amperage with these drills and saws, it's just hard on everything. I don't want to melt out an extension cord pulling a ton of power through there. So we are not, because they're not huge extension cords, they're just your average extension cord. So we're trying not to run too many extension cords at once, but I think we got it to work. So back to work. Well, shoot, my water tank is in the way. It is just past the edge there. So I'm not gonna be able to get the bottom one in without moving that. It is like 3/4 of the way full. So it's probably got 80 to 90 gallons in there. That's, 700 pounds. I'm not moving that by myself. I'm gonna have to wait till they drink it down. It'll be mostly empty by the end of the day. What should we do? I guess let's just leave it alone and we'll go back on the other side. Do some more over there. Changed our plans again. We're just gonna go from this top rail down to the next rail. So we're gonna put one more rail down to 24 inches, put a rail there, and then one underneath that at 1 foot. So we'll have 2 rails close together, a space between 2 rails close together. So we're gonna put this top rail across today, and then once they drink this water down, we'll move that water out, and then we can put the bottom rails down another day. I dropped that drill on the ground for just a sec. I have a tendency to hold screws in my mouth when I'm working. Just a convenient place to keep them so I can get to them quick. I know a lot of people do that. Now I gotta be careful because I got mud on my hands.
I didn't say mud, I said crud.
Sticking things in my mouth. It's getting kind of gross out here with this mud where I accidentally left the water on. If you see me vomit, that's why. Hey guys, you're missing all the action over there. The work's going on down this way. Ew, you guys are covered in, ew! Cow slobber, gross. Well, that's gonna be a day again. I've got that 2 top rails up now, the one on the back side. We're coming up on the weekend, so hopefully we can wrap it all up. Once again, I'm only doing this like a couple hours at a time. Once the weekend rolls around, I'll have a little bit more time and we can wrap it up real quick, see how it works out. I mean, hopefully it works. Had a feed bunk in the past at the house we lived at before we moved here. And it was just made out of pallets. It was too tall and too wide, and the cows had to lean on it a whole bunch. So I'm kind of making this up as we go. I've never seen like a tutorial on this before. I've just seen other people who have them and kind of got an idea off of that. Gonna figure this out as we go. Hopefully it works out well.
Miles from the surface and take the back streets on purpose until you get lost.
That is very loud.
Yeah.
Your face, it shines like the city.
Hug her all day.
I never dreamt you'd
you
be
do with
with me
I don't know.
in my mind. In my mind. It was a place in December. We walked that path, you remember.
I was ready to rock and roll, get this thing done. It appears that my drill has a short because I can't get it to work, only occasionally if I wiggle the cord just right. So our local hardware store is experiencing the same labor shortages that probably everybody in the country is right now. They're having a hard time finding help. They are closing early, which means they're closed now. Normally they'd be open for a few more hours, but they're closed. So we're kind of stuck on this project. I'm gonna go pull this drill to pieces and see if I can't figure out where the short is and put it back together. All right, let's give this another go. Well, we've got this end of it all done. Now, it's just time to test it out. I'm gonna move these green panels out of the way. We'll throw some feed out for these cows and see how it works. Hopefully, they don't just walk right through it first 2 seconds. nice weather is gone. We might be getting snow here in the next couple days, so it's starting to cool off quite a bit. But this is our last and final piece of this feed bunk we've got to finish. We've got to put a piece around the bottom. I fed the cows in there last night, and what I expected happened. They pushed a lot of that hay out of their reach as they were fiddling around with it, so I got to put a wrap around the very bottom so they can't slide the hay away from them. And then we're going to connect the posts from the short posts from our feed bunk to the fence, the taller posts of the fence, so that as the cows try to lean through that hole, they're not going to slowly push that fence over. So we're going to brace them together so that it stands really strong, and the only way they can move that is by snapping a board, which hopefully doesn't happen. Hopefully they don't get that aggressive with it. Down the road, there's probably going to be some adjustments that go on. We might put a slanted piece in there to keep the hay closer to them so they're not having to lean as much. We'll see, but for now this is going to be kind of our final piece, and then it's just going to be some adjustments here and there depending on what problems arise with it. Hopefully none, and we can just leave it as it is.
Where are your legs at?
Right here.
You're just laying down straight?
Two boards crossed that way, one straight across and one at diagonal, that will make those two posts super secure. No matter how much those cows lean on it, the only way that they're going to tip a post over is if they snap it in half. So this should last the test of time and the brutal beatdown of about 15 cows.